Hey, what's going on, heroes? Welcome back to the vlog. So, as you guys already read this title, I'm gonna officially introduce you and tell you a little backstory as far as our pets go. So, you see this butthead right here? This is Dean. Back in 2020, when the world was locked down and we were in full COVID, his owner actually ended up having a heart attack while being out and about. He ended up dying on the street. This poor little guy was stuck at home for like 2-3 days alone. Eventually they were able to find him, and Vivian Stia was trying to find a house for him. So she asked Vivian, hey, you know what? Can you just hold on to him until we find him a permanent home? Remember, I said 2020, okay? It's 2024 now. We still have him. Obviously, he's our cat now. At first, he was crying all the time, complaining. Oh, actually, let me tell you, he got his name because of Dean Winchester from Supernatural. The other thing is interesting about that is that Dean was actually supposed to be Clementine's name if she would have been a boy. Okay, that's just a fun little side fact. But that's how we ended up with this butthead right here. After a couple of weeks, this little butthead started getting really lonely because he was used to being with his owner. He gravitated towards me because obviously his owner was a guy, so I'm the only guy in the house at the time, so he just gravitated towards me, which kind of made Vivian a little bit upset. This part right here is kind of where I get mixed up. I don't remember which one came next. I know that he started getting really lonely, so we're like, you know what, we're definitely gonna need to get another pet because he's getting really lonely. He's crying and meowing all the time. He's scratching everything because he's lonely, you know. So I think we ended up getting Gabby. So this is Gabby right here, okay? I ended up having to come inside to introduce you officially to Gabby because we don't let her outside. She really doesn't like going outside. She gets curious and goes up to the window like she's right now, but she doesn't actually like going outside. And because she's not neutered, we don't want her to like sneak out one day and then go out there and get pregnant. This cat was supposed to be for Vivian, but she ended up falling in love with Emma right off the bat, and Emma's the one that named her Gabby. At the time, Emma was really into Gabby's dollhouse, so that's where she got her name. They all have side names. They all have nicknames. At the end of this vlog, I'll let you know what their nicknames are. A few months after we got Dean over there, which is, I don't know if you guys can see him, he's right there. We ended up getting this little one because Dean started getting really lonely. Right around that time, Vivian's friend's cat ended up having a litter, which she was a part of right here. And she was just like, hey, can you help me out with getting some of these cats, maybe find a home for them? And Vivian was like, oh, this is perfect timing because we were actually looking for another cat because our cat is really lonely. So that's how she came around. And the only reason that we got her is because she's a black cat and nobody really wanted her because, you know, people are very superstitious about the black cats. After that, we ended up getting, I want to say, Biscuit. Now, remember, I said I usually get confused with who came first, this girl right here or Biscuit. But they were roughly around the same time, within like a month of each other. Hey, little Gabby, say hello. Say hello. Okay, so after all of that, a couple, like maybe 2 months later, my nephew Eddie ended up buying Biscuit because he really liked this breed. He really liked the blue eyes, and he was like, bro, this dog is so gorgeous. I want him, I want him, I want him. He ended up buying them. Let's just say on a Friday, okay? Let's just say on a Friday. Saturday morning, he's like, bro, I can't with this dog. He keeps pooping everywhere. He barks all night long. I can't with it. I said, bro, you haven't even had him 24 hours. Keep him 24 hours. Keep him until tomorrow. And if you don't want him, then we'll figure something out. Come Sunday morning, he was like, bro, I can't. He gave him to us, okay? And as you guys can see, we still have him, the little fat butthead over there. Now, Evan is the one that named him Biscuit because originally he was supposed to be named Bean, but it sounded too familiar to Dean, and I knew that they were gonna end up getting confused as far as like, if we call him, we'd be like, Bean, and then Dean would be like, yo, why you calling me? And vice versa. So Evan is actually the one that named this fat head right here. So technically, that would be Evan's dog. So Dean would be mine. Gabby was supposed to be Vivian's, but she ended up choosing Emma, so that's Emma's. And then Biscuit would be Evan's dog. Now, after that, Vivian was like, hey, I want a cat. I'm the one that wanted a cat. Now, how is it that everybody has a pet except for me? And that's where Hella comes in. Hella is the one that just hides everywhere. Honestly, she's very hard to find. If I can find her right now while I go back in the house so I can show you what she looks like, I will. But she's very difficult to find. That's always been her nature. And again, right around that same time, we were like, you know what? Still 2020, okay? This all happened within like 8 months of each other. We ended up with all these pets, except for one, within the 8-month period of each other, right in 2020 when everything was locked down because a bunch of people were trying to get rid of animals because they just couldn't support them. They couldn't take care of them because of the whole situation that was going on. But We ended up with Hella because that owner had a litter again and couldn't get rid of the cats. Nobody wanted them, so we're like, ah, okay, fine, we'll take the damn cat. Hella. You see what I'm talking about? She hides everywhere. Every nick and cranny we have to check. Sometimes she'll be in those boxes. She'll sneak into the drawers. Let me find her. Okay, so this little beauty right here is Hella. She is very scared. Honestly, any sudden movements, any loud noise, and she's off. Like even right now, me touching her, you see how jittery she is? Look at her. I'm not exactly sure where Vivian got the name Hella from. Oh, there she goes. See? See, I told you, she's very scary. Any loud movement, any loud sounds, she's off to the races. You can't find her. Like right now, I was looking for her for like a cool 30 minutes, and randomly she just happened to appear. And right now, she just went into the little corner over there. Ever since we first got her, she's always been that way, just very scarce. I'm not exactly sure where Vivian got the name Hella from, but that cat was technically hers because, like I said, Dean was supposed to be hers, but gravitated towards me. Gabby right here was supposed to be hers, but she gravitated towards Emma. And Vivian was like, bro, what about me? What about my cat? So that's where Hella came in. Okay, so before I get to that little butthead over there, let me give you a little bit more context. Okay, so like I said, first we got Dean over there, and then we got Gabby, okay? And then we got this guy. They were both babies, and they would play and run around all the time and have a lot of fun. The problem is that this little butthead gets really excited and starts to really pounce a lot, which freaks a lot of people out. And as they started getting bigger, him and Gabby started getting bigger, he started freaking her out. She started getting overwhelmed, and she started attacking them. That's actually something that still goes on now. They actually fight the most. Like compared to all the other pets combined, him and Gabby fight the most, which is kind of weird because they were best friends. Which leads me to why we got this little butthead over here, because this guy started feeling really lonely because he no longer had Gabby as a friend to play with. So this little butthead right here, okay, thank you for that. This little butthead right here started feeling really lonely, so we ended up getting Lacey over here. And originally Lacey was supposed to be my dog, okay? Because I was like, oh, well, Evan has this one. That butthead over there started rotating towards Vivian. Gabby was still Emma's. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let's get a dog to keep this butthead over here some company. So we got Lacey. Technically, it was supposed to be my dog. She basically likes Vivian a lot more than she likes me. Don't get me wrong, she'll come and play and hang out with me because of him, because she gets excited, she sees him getting attention, so she wants to come along as well. You know, like most dogs do, they see playing and interacting, so they want to come too. So that's how we ended up with this little butthead. And the same thing, I think the same owner that gave us Gabby ended up giving us Lacey over here, and there was a nice little litter, and obviously we would pick the runt. It wasn't something that was intentional. I just happened to see him like, oh, bro, I like that one. That one's really cute. She kept nibbling at me like she is right now. And eventually I said, oh, you know what? That's the one. And here she is. Last but not least, how we got the last cat, okay? Now that one's the one that I mentioned earlier that we ended up getting that one way later because all the other 4 pets we ended up getting between 8 months and 2020 lockdowns, okay? This last one we ended up getting, in February of this year, February or March, right before we moved here. I was moving some stuff into storage, and I just happened to see at the bottom of the stairs, and I was like, hey, that's a nice little cat right there. So I called Vivian. I was like, hey, Vivian, there's a little kitty over here. She went down there, instantly fell in love. I know, okay? She looks just like Gabby, and from the moment that we first got her, I saw her right then. I said, bro, this is fake Gabby. Now, her story is a little different because this one, we had no intention of ever keeping her. Like I said, we found her at the bottom of the staircase, and I told Vivian, bro, she looks very sickly. Let's give her some food and water, and then let's just let her go, find her parents or find her owner or whatever, right? That was the original plan. And then we realized, okay, she doesn't have any owners. So we were like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and keep her for a little bit, and we'll find her a nice little house, and then we'll be able to just give her up and send her on her way. Never happened. Nobody wanted her for the same reason as nobody wanted Gabby, because she's all black. Now, she technically does have a name, and officially her name is Cherry, because this cat technically is Clementine's cat, and she's the one that named her Cherry. But Vivian's sister Booger and Emma took it upon herself to rename her to Shadow for obvious reasons. But like I said, ever since the very beginning, I always called her fake Gabby, and that's kind of just always been my thing. Like I said, Technically, her name is Cherry, but she does have nicknames. And honestly, she's a really good cat. She plays with everybody from the moment that we got her. The moment she came into the house, she interacted with all the pets, no problem. Especially, she went right up to Biscuit and started licking him and grooming him, no problem. She gets along with all the pets without any issue. From time to time, she'll kind of just like hiss at Biscuit or Lacey, but it's nothing serious. It's like little playful stuff. And Dean will attack her because she wants to play, and Dean's an old man, so he's just like, bro, get off of me. For the most part, she is probably the most well-behaved one of them all. There you go. There you go. Little fake Gabby. Little fake Gabby. All right, you guys, so there you have it. Now you've been officially introduced to every single one of our cats, and you got some backstory as far as how we got them and when we got them. And like I said, it all started with this little butthead right here. Honestly, he's a really, really, really good cat until he gets grumpy. Honestly, his personality is basically like mine. He'll come, he wants a little bit of attention, a little bit of love and affection, and then he's like, okay, bro, I'm done. Walk away or I'm gonna smack you. And right now he's complaining because he wants to go inside, but he actually needs to shower because he was literally just rolling around in the mud, in the dirt over there while I was vlogging this, introducing you to everybody. But yep, it all started with that butthead, then Gabby that's over there on the window, followed by this butthead, followed by Hella, and then this little butthead, and then lastly, fake Gabby over there, which is technically actually Cherry.